Hey, what is the one thing that really matters? What do you think is the one single thing that matters to perform well in the GATE examination? Can you all name one thing that really matters to perform well in the GATE examination? I just need one from each of you. Okay, don't say two, three things. Mention one thing. Time management. Exam time management, in fact, during exam, outside of the exam, fine. Time management, perseverance, your diligence, all right, motivation level, okay, perseverance. How much, again, you are willing to fight during the exam, before the exam. Anything else? At least if I were you, I am sitting a student, I will be trying to highlight my strength. All of you are having some strength, right? I will be trying to highlight that strength, hoping that that is a strength that the teacher is also trying to highlight, or you know make it stand out, right? Time management, perseverance. Question is, what is that one detail makes you succeed in the GATE examination? Another common test, something pertaining to focus, presence of mind, fine. So pursued your, manage your time, but you're reading a question at that time. Only if you have that presence of mind, you can kind of understand a GATE question. Okay, presence of mind. Else, see, there are hundreds of parameters that would matter. I'm asking you to just highlight one of your favorite. Okay, not empirical favorites or scientific favorites, rational favorites, irrational favorites. None of that. What is your favorite? So there are only three here. Third one is logic. And if that is your strength, you also put that on here. Actually, logic. Many of you might be wondering what logic, but with logic you can actually do very well in the exam. Okay, some of these are kind of closely connected, presence of mind, logic, and all that. But own logic, you can actually reasonably well in the examination. That could be a good strength. What else? You should have something, sir. Hard work, sir. My diligence, sir. Preparation, sir. Prior knowledge. My talent, my skill. Then we have belief. Okay, fine. Are there any other? I'll give you a couple of more seconds. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this list? What would make you succeed? With actually, many of these are required. Okay, sound time management during exam, before the examination is required. Perseverance during the examination, before the examination is required. Presence of mind. Okay, that again during, before. Presence of mind is required. Okay, presence of mind, power of now. So that is required. Logic, again, as he said, logic can take you very, very far. Okay, get examination paper. And belief, many of the things that you mentioned here require belief. Okay, in that sense, I'm going to highlight one. We are having this class because I think all of you can do very well in the GATE examination. Certainly clear. Okay, so but I'm not the one writing the exam. You're the one writing the exam. So you should have the belief that you can succeed, do well in the GATE examination. Okay, so in fact, the word that I have in mind for this is it confidence or confidence? Let's leave it at confidence. Suppose it's confidence, okay, but we'll leave it confidence. The problem here is there are two problems associated with this. Two problems associated with your confidence level. One is you are overconfident. Another one, you are underconfident. Both are problematic. So at the revision stage, what we need to know is to actually recognize true strengths. Okay, we want to gain proper confidence. Okay, we neither want to be underconfident or overconfident. And a good way to gauge your confidence is mock tests. Okay, so overconfidence is actually fairly easy to deal with. You take a mock test, you look at your score, you know where you stand. You're already shining in the mock test. Okay, that is fine. Then you are confident. That is also showing in your performance. That is fine. But take a test. Your scores don't reflect the amount of confidence that you're feeling. Of course, you need to go revise and all that. Okay, this is kind of easy to handle. Overconfidence. If you are willing, this is easy to handle. Okay, this is can be easily handled. The underconfidence, where you're really good, but you don't have this belief, right? You don't have this confidence to perform well, or somehow your capabilities, right, skill, your talent, it is not showing up in the form of marks. At the end of the day, the marks is what matters. It is not reflecting on that, right? This is a problem that really this is a problem, and many of you will be facing this. Okay, many of you have this underconfidence. Okay, so solution is find some strong motivating word. Keep reminding yourself of that. In fact, keep actively recalling yourself words that motivate you. Okay, I want to be reasonably secular, and I also want to pick up an example that would kind of make sense to most of you, if not all of you. So I'm going to pick out an example from a James Bond movie. Okay, how many of you have seen this? Is Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace? How many of you have seen Skyfall? You have seen Skyfall. So there is one of the scenes where they read a poem from literature. Okay, poem is from Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Let me share that poem with you. Often this happens during the examination, during preparation on all of that. Okay, we often face this flight or fight response. Okay, that scenario, we are often in that scenario where we have to ideally make a decision between flight or fight. Okay, and this brain freeze, mental freeze, and all that is like you are taking the flight mode, right? You're kind of really stressed, and this is one of the most important things that need to be handled at the very beginning of the examination. Okay, so find some strong words that remind you that you have to give. Okay, the situation, gods are not aligned with you, the wind, the climate, weather, none of that is in favor of you. The chances are not in favor of you. Economic background, your educational background, whatever it is, things are not in favor of you. Fine, you have seen who are in more favorable positions, but okay, that shouldn't stop you from giving your best fight. So, good example is I had one of my students, in this is 2021 batch, right? This is more than she scored all India rank 4. Okay, the previous year she could not clear the examination. Then in train with me for 1 year, she got all India rank 4. But during the examination, as soon as she read the question papers, she skimmed through the question paper and all that. She was trying to solve problems, gain some momentum. In the initial 1 hour or something like that, she felt 2020 was repeating. The previous year was repeating. Even after 1 years of preparation, almost like all questions are totally new. She is not able to find questions that she could answer, or the questions are again, there is some sort of surprise, or she had a sort of a mental freeze. Right. The time she decided. In fact, she said this to me soon after the examination. Right. So okay, fine. Things are not in favor of me, but let me give the best fight that is possible given the current status. Right. So there are 2 more hours. However, even if it's like 1, 2, 3 questions that I could solve, let me solve that. Okay. So things are not working out. Looks like things are going to repeat, not in favor of me. But I will give a good fight with whatever time is left. Okay. That decision she made. Many of you will come across crossroads like that in preparation, during examination. What you need to do is to make that decision, to stay and put up a good fight, a fight that you would be proud of. And what you need is some kind of a pointer or a motivating word to, keep reminding you of that. You need to keep actively recalling that. In fact, notice these words: we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven. Okay. So this is like, hey, old days there are gods, right? They are moving earth and heaven. I am a humble human being, right? So that which we are, right? I might be a human, but one equal temper of heroic hearts, right? Time, fate, chance, everything made me weak. But my will is very strong. My will to stay and fight is very strong, right? So to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. To yield to time, fate, situation, chances, and all of that, right? This is extremely important. So I try to pick an example that is somewhat, secular, right? So if I have shared this, you could always find this poem. In fact, there is this movie scene also. This if you Skyfall, Tennyson poem, yeah, if you search for that, I think even that seem show up. Okay, default Tennyson poem, you could go watch that. But my suggestion is, you're going to be at crossroads. You will have to make a decision to whether fight or flight. Okay, and remind yourself to always go a proud fight. Okay, at that moment, give a good fight. Whatever you are capable of doing at that moment, do it. Okay, do it proudly, and then you know, don't let this flight response take control over you. Okay, be strong and will. Find some words to motivate you. That is one suggestion. This is a very, very, very important problem. So I wanted to raise this at the beginning of this thing. Okay, rest of the things are all details. Okay, this is most of the other things are all details on what you do. Okay, the real crux actually boils down to that will to fight. Okay, okay. Again, yesterday I said there is like there's 4 states, right? Unsafe, safe, good, excellent. Even when I was saying that, what I was saying is, know where you currently stand and try to go to the next level. That's my suggestion, right? So always try to, wherever you are, with respect to your recent past, try to do better. Okay, that will automatically get you the confidence required to do well in the examination. This is the most important point, and I wanted to have this right at the beginning of the discussion. Find words that work for you. Okay, you don't have to find words that I suggested or I am telling you. There is a saying, right? Pain is inevitable, suffering is optional, right? So there are words, there are hundreds and hundreds of words like this. So words and phrases like this. So pick that you believe in. Okay, that will motivate you. That is point. That is a major point. Okay, not point number 1. That is a major point. Now let's get back to some of the mundane, earthly, this earthly mundane details. Preparation allocation time, preparation material, preparation recall, exam checklist. All. Okay, at this stage, before I move on, can any of you share some words that motivate you? Even from, you could give examples from popular pop culture also. So, few months back, I was discussing in a class, they were referring to RRR movie. It's a song, right? Hero is chained all over and all that. Okay, so obsession beats talent. Okay, fine. So whatever works for you, stick to that. Okay. Yeah, miles to go before I sleep. There is actually, when I was a student, the poem that I liked a lot is, there is something called a if poem. Miles to go before I sleep is from that if poem. Remember correctly, right? Let me check that. Actually, it was a nice poem that. But this is, during when I was a student, when you like grow up, kind of like, as far as the mind goes, right? Your body goes, as you grow up, you need walking stick. As far as the mind goes, okay, if you are growing up properly, you don't need walking stick as you grow up. Earlier stages, you need walking sticks. Okay, as you grow up, you don't need walking sticks. Your mind gets stronger as your body gets weaker. Okay, that is something that I have observed in my case. And I used to go before sleep is either this is Christopher Nolan inspiration, I suppose. One of that, either Dark Knight or this Interstellar movie, I suppose. Right? This is also a nice poem. Okay, Robert Frost poem. Okay, I think Nolan kind of used that poem, Robert Frost poem, romanticism, right? So he used that in Interstellar movie, I suppose. So notice this. If is also a very nice poem. Yet Kipling can keep your head when all about you are losing the airs and blaming it on you, right? So find some good words. Okay. So all three examples from English literature. Of course, I suppose you could find good literature in your own language. Okay, let's get back to this. So the hardest part is done. Now I have infinite momentum to proceed with the class, right? Class management strategy. At this stage, what you're supposed to do is mock test and revision. Have a week's time between mock tests. So what you're supposed to do is to actually analyze what you did well, what worked, what didn't work. Accordingly revise, okay, and then complete the feedback loop by coming up with sound improvement strategies. Strategy could just be your preparation. Hey, this is where I did not do well. I corrected these aspects. Let's see if things improve. Okay, it could be as simple as that. Improve in the next mock test. Ideally, this is why you should be giving the mock test. You are just giving the mock test 1, mock test 2, mock test 3, right? That is pointless. Should be giving this in a feedback loop. Okay, this is extremely important. You should be doing. So Saturday afternoons mock test, in and around Saturday afternoons mock test, whole week you should be revising. And we will be specifically meeting on Saturdays and Sundays, right? So we have to discuss the revision time management and exam time management. The revision time management is kind of fairly easy. So let me list down fairly easy things, okay, that we can quickly roll out. One is revision time management. Revision management. This stage one question is, if some topics are not prepared, still attempt the mock test. Yes, you are not going to complete 100%. If you wait to complete 100%, you are not giving the GATE exam. But you are prepared, give the mock test. See what you are scoring, then make a decision. One is going to cover 100%, or if someone is trying to cover 100%, I don't know which GATE exam they are writing. We are talking about GATE 2025 exam. Is that clear? Test is to test your current status so that you can take informed decision, appropriate action, corrective action. That is feasible, in a week's time. So yes, you should, first of all, we are not going to cover 100% of the syllabus. Okay, you should give the mock test. And at this stage, let me also point out, I wrote down some numbers here, okay? Technically, 50% of the syllabus in and out perfectly, right? Notice you can get single digit rank, all India rank, right? And skip complete subjects together. But whatever you know, whatever you prepare, if you know that in and out thoroughly, you can get single digit all India rank. You can afford to skip a lot of the subjects. One important point, okay? It's efficient to skip a lot of subjects, okay? Lot of subjects are distractions. Personally, there can be choices. Hey, for me, digital electronics is easy. For me, mathematics is easy. For me, signal systems is hard. You can make that call, a personal call. Okay. But really, you should be skipping subjects. For the BM paper, given the status, ideally, you should be skipping 1 or 2 complete subjects. Okay. So revision time management. I'm going to give a roughly a week's. I already gave you a monthly schedule, right? I already gave you a monthly calendar. Monthly calendar is available to give you a rough weekly schedule. I am going to give you a schedule that will kind of like fit for most of you. You have to kind of take it and modify it. Again, one study where those who use Chrome browsers were kind of doing well in their careers. So the Chrome browsers improved their performance, career performance, skills. No, it so happened that those who are using Chrome browsers, they made a deliberate decision to download the browser and use it, because the default browser, be it the Internet Explorer, whatever it is, they felt it wasn't effective. It wasn't, it was highly inefficient. There were many reasons. They made a deliberate choice to use go use a Chrome browser, right? So I'm going to give a default thing that will work for most of you most of the time, but you'll have to fine tune that. Okay. So I'm going to give you a rough weekly schedule, a good starting point that you could fine tune based on your schedule. Okay. Weekly schedule. Not going to give you a daily schedule and all that. At that time, it kind of gets like a micromanaging, and some of you are like day owls, night owls, and some of you are like night owl one, then day butterfly. Yeah. So let's not get into daily schedule and all that. Roughly what I will be doing is, have a week, let's put it from Sunday to the next Sunday. We already said what you'll be doing on a Saturdays. We have post Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, eat one more spot. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Also have this at the top. So this is kind of like already booked, right? So you're going to give a test here. Then roughly we are mostly, let's say, the class, you're kind of occupied with the class. Okay, roughly I'll be doing major subject every day. At this stage, what I will be doing is, let's say, aptitude on Monday, aptitude on Monday, Do math Tuesday, one major subject. This is one major subject. Then we have Biomic. Okay, you can club that with, in fact, you can do major subjects. Okay, so Biomed and let's say Biomed kind of fairly easy. Med imaging. Okay, and then you could do Biomed. Again, Biomed there isn't a lot. Kind of these two are somewhat related, and Biomed and Bioinst. This by default really involve a lot of HAP, so that is kind of clubbed there. And here you could do circuits and non-core. Circuits, you can change the order. You can perhaps do the circuits non-core earlier in the week and math FT later. It depends. Okay, circuits and very rough schedule. Good starting point. You can make minor changes to it. Right? Have we covered? Notice automatically most important subjects are given appropriate weightage. Okay, so the week before the examination, you only have a week to revise, right? So in that week, 2 days you have to do all the core subjects. The non-core I have given just 1 day along with circuits. Then you have aptly math. Then you can do Sunday test, and then you are going to do some important things on Saturday test and review. You can do that on a Saturday, Sunday, and you could also afford to take some time off. Okay, some schedule a break, either in the morning, late night. Schedule a fun time, which is what I mean. I already scheduled classes. It's not, I try to make it fun, but I don't like pretend to be like vacation and all that. Schedule a fun time over there. Okay. This is revision time management. I already said what you're supposed to do. What you're supposed to do. So mock test, revision, analyze, revision and all that. In fact, it kind of aptly you could give one aptitude test every week. If you feel you need more practice, you can also allocate 30 minutes or 1 hour on other days on aptitude, something like that. You give an aptitude test every week. Okay. And sometimes it helps if this week you gave, let's say, GATE PM 2020 paper. Okay. Take IN 2020 aptitude paper, 10 questions. Take EC aptitude questions. They'll be somewhat related. Okay. You don't have to give the same 10 questions, but you can give the related 10 questions to see where you stand. I also have given lots of subject-wise questions, subject-wise diagnostics, right? You could also make use of that at this stage. Okay. So the mocks here also include subject-wise tests, and doesn't hurt to redo test, practice problems again and all that. Okay, subject-wise. Okay, mock test, subject-wise. This thing now analysis again. We can be systematic about what we analyze. We can also be systematic about how we can improve. I'm going to discuss things that will work for most of you. So typically, when I look at a paper, analyze this kind of depends. There are many analysis that you could do. Some of the time management, there is a one golden rule. If you kind of stick to that, you should be fine. Okay, I'll come to that rule when you discuss exam time management. But it's good to have some idea. Are you wasting a lot of time in a specific concepts? Okay, in that case, it's a good idea to skip those concepts or subjects. Okay, that is the only time management that you could analyze. Okay, another thing is, again, you don't have to analyze weightage. By this time, that work I have done, right? You don't have to do that. You should be doing real analysis is with respect to strengths and weaknesses. You need to know what you're good at, what you're not good at. During the preparation, during the examination, I'd be spending more time on what I am good at this stage. Okay, I'll get out of the comfort zone, but I'll be spending more time on what I'm good at. A good proxy for this is how accurate are you in a given subject. Subject wise, see how accurate, how many marks did I score in mathematics compared to, let's say, aptitude, compared to circuits, compared to bioinstrumentation. Can do a comparative accuracy analysis, and typically this accuracy will boil down to two things. One, let's make sure things are all fine. One, going to make a lot of silly mistakes. Going to forget a lot of formulas. You're going to make a lot of silly mistakes. You're going to read questions incorrectly. Okay, you're going to enter answers incorrectly. There are many silly mistakes. You have to find out what mistakes you do so that you can specifically avoid them, work towards avoiding them. I'll give you very specific actions you could do towards avoiding this. The second thing is there are going to be very hard, you didn't understand the question, you didn't read the concept. Very hard BJT MOSFET sequential delay in digital electronics, something like that, right? There are going to be some hard questions that you lost marks or time. Okay, you should skip this. You should work on improving this, because silly mistakes, if you actually analyze, okay, what is the percentage of marks that I lost by silly mistakes? Most of it is going to be easily correctable, and that is what you're supposed to focus on. Most of you recognized couldn't recall formulas because you hadn't done active recall that I had suggested. Use a flashcard. Most of you might have been writing notes and all that. No, notes is different from using a flashcard. If you couldn't recall formulas, use a flashcard. Doing calculation mistakes, again, let's kind of list down actionable items regarding silly mistakes. And what we want to stick to is actionable items. Actionable items. And what we discuss is silly mistakes. Kinds of silly mistakes typically happen. But one I know is forgetting things. Forget formula is a typical thing. Then what else? Okay, calculator. Let's write it down as units calculation mistake. Units calculation mistake. Then actually many of you will be doing this. Read or answer incorrectly. Okay. Read incorrectly. That is, you fell for a trap. Okay. Closely related to this is answer. You found out the answer, but you answered incorrectly. This is a silly mistake. Pick all the wrong options, you pick all the right options. And what you want to discuss is actionable items. You want to do something during practice. So this is, we have done our analysis. We have kind of looked at, hey, of all the marks that I lost, of all the, let's say, 60 marks that I lost, 40 are due to silly mistake, right? 20 are hard questions. No way I could have. But 40 I lost due to silly mistakes. That 40, mostly 25 marks is like I just forget. 10 marks, unit calculation. Then 5 marks, something like that, is like read question, or I fell for a trap. This is a kind of analysis that I'm when I say analyze, I'm asking you to, after each test, roughly get the numbers. Okay, it takes about an hour to do this. That hour is very well worth it, so that you can spend your time on improving that aspect. So there is a student who's calculation, no, he or she doesn't do any calculation mistake. They are already giving the mock test. They don't have to spend additional time there if they are not doing any mistakes, right? Someone is not forgetting things. They have a photographic memory. Again, they don't have to do a lot of recall. That is not the typical case, but I'm just saying few instances. Okay, now we have to write actionable items. Okay, so answer incorrectly. These two are fairly easy. Here, if you are doing this, the action is yourself, have I fell for a trap? In fact, kind of, see, you find out the answer just before entering the answer. Have I fell for a trap? Ask yourself, look for basic things. Are they asking true, false, correct, incorrect, wrong, right? Have I fell for a trap? Make this a habit. Just double check. Okay, double checking is not redoing the entire thing. Making sure whatever you have done makes sense. Ask a quick question, quickly skim through things. There's all this, the true, false, correct, incorrect, all of those, MSQ, MCQ, enter an integer, two decimal, three decimal, and all that. You don't have to worry that much, because typically there is a range. Okay, for most questions there is a range, about 10% this side and that side. So you don't have to worry about 2-3 decimals for every question. And you are forgetting things. This is the typical thing. What you are not doing is, I kind of highlighted this thing, right? What you are doing is, how did I say that? Yeah, what you're doing is, you're doing revise formula. No, you are not supposed to revise. Let's say you're forgetting formula, you're revising things. No, you're not supposed to revise things, right? Then, it's not a revise that you are supposed to do. Then, is it recall, right? It's not even recall. Is it, oh, what is the, ECG, EEG, let's say EEG waves. Okay, different types of EEG waves and ranges. You recalled it and then move on. That's also not you are supposed to do. Actively recall. That is, as soon as you recall, you need to verify whether what you recalled is correct or you should do this. Forgetting is the most typical issue. Recall, active recall is the solution for that. Finally, units and calculation mistakes. fair. Stick to SI, doing calculations. Okay, you can avoid a lot of headache. For most questions, if you stick to SI, you should be good. And while answering, of course, most of you are going to ask for this, do this. What to answer units? What to answer units? Because calculations, units, mostly simple, fairly easy in SI. Okay. For most questions, there are always these miscellaneous questions. Sir, the question, everything is given in non-SI. British units, what should I do? There are one or two questions like that. Most questions, stick to SI, you are good. But before answering, convert to answer units. So you need to know two things here. You need to know SI units properly, right? You need to know how to convert to answer units. You can practice both during mock tests and all of that. Okay. Convert to answer units. Notice, yeah, you're going to, it's a good idea to ask, before answering, have I fell for a trap? Am I answering the correct units? Also includes that. You can specifically practice for this. And the more your million mistakes you're making, the more time you can allocate for that. Yeah, sorry about it. Okay, so does this make sense? Notice I am not talking about reading notes or writing notes, none of that. Do you recall? Yes. Analysis, hey, where are you losing marks? There also, I said, hey, the hard ones forget. Pick the silly mistakes, okay? Because you can easily gain those marks. Yes, okay. Let's have some bit of contrast over there. I already kind of hard ones I kind of ruled out. These are actionable items that I am discussing. Once I identify, know where you're losing most of the marks, you could also do this. Okay. So the day on the examination day, I would analyze the question paper, identify how many marks I lost due to silly mistake. During the week, accordingly, I'll be taking a corrective action. And the rough weekly schedule is this, right? Rough schedule, you can tailor it as it suits you. Okay. Then what else? Okay, now there are some exam specific questions that are showing up. What priority should be attempt questions? How to avoid negative marks? Yeah, I'm going to discuss those two. Yeah, that will take a little more time. Let me also quickly clean up some easy things, okay? Because I discussed one hot topic, I need a slight break. That is, I'm not going to give a break. I'm going to discuss one lighter topic and then we'll go to that. Roughly what you are supposed to do is to skim the entire question paper. 3 minutes, 4 minutes, skim the entire question paper. And then you don't have to read the entire question, skim it. Hey, or medical imaging questions there, bioinstrumentation questions there. Are there a lot of Opcom questions? Oh, digital electronic questions are also there. Just make it non-judgmental, okay? I'm kind of like I'm adding some emotional, some tone to it. Make it non-judgmental. Okay, there are medical imaging questions, right? Let your subconscious, unconscious brain aware of what questions are there. Because when you get back to the questions, your brain has already done some work, some preparation to answer that, okay? And then answer questions that are easy ones. Take 45 minutes. You can do 50% of easy questions. 50% of the questions that you know in the entire paper, you can answer within 45 minutes to 1 hour. You have 2 more hours to do 25% of moderate questions. Okay. So typically you do 3 passes. First pass is skimming. Second pass, easy questions. And from third pass and all the third, fourth, fifth pass, you're doing one hard question at a time. Moderate to hard question at a time. If you are stuck at a question, feel free to quickly jump. Okay. Skip question and move on. You can, gain marks elsewhere. If your brain freezes, move on to the next question. That also brain freezes, fine. Move on to the next one. Okay. That is one thing. So I'll discuss this again in a bit of detail. Yeah. What you need to make sure is you need to, no silly mistakes, right? But again, this is where a lot of mistakes happen. Preparation also, you shouldn't be doing any silly mistakes. Typically, this involves quality air, good quality water, quality food, and then good quality rest, sleep. Okay. And then need good quality. Okay. This. Make a checklist of things that you need for the exam. Do we need to take a ID card? Do we need to take a pen? How am I going to get from wherever you are to the examination hall? Hey, how much time does it take? Right? Have a checklist. And ideally, the reason to suggest you to take at the examination time is you can actually plan the day. How long? 2:30 I have to give the exam. When should I start? Right? You can do a trial run for that. Checklist and trial runs for the examination day. Because these are silly mistakes. Again, you can use 100 marks due to these silly mistakes, right? Trial runs for exam day. Water again. Notice the air kinda is important. You don't want any stupid stomach disorder or something like that, cold or stomach disorder a day or two before the examination or on the day of the examination. So if you take care of these things, you are all biomedical engineers. You know how diseases, contagious diseases spread, right? Infectious, non-infectious diseases spread. Typically infectious, right? Take basic care to avoid all of them. Have good quality food, right? That doesn't irritate your GA tract or something like that. Make sure quality of all these three are good. And regarding air, I'm mentioning this again. Examinations are typically held in a air-conditioned room. Temperatures might be colder than what you are used to. Okay, one is you may not be used to that, but at least during the examination, make sure you don't drink a lot of water, else you're running back and forth to the restroom. Right? Drink sufficient amount of water. Okay, so notice drink, stay hydrated, stay hydrated. Some of these might sound silly, but as I said, these silly mistakes can 100, you're betting 100 marks on this silly mistake, right? You don't show for the examination, that is 100 marks, right? For make sure this is good quality food. Air, do regular breathing exercises. You need to do regular breathing exercises. Pick your exercise, but make it regular. 5-minute regular breathing exercise typically is good for you. Long back I had suggested Surya Namaskaram, something like that, right? Because by default you're also doing whatever it is. Pick a regular breathing exercise for 5 minutes a day, at least 5 minutes a day. And rest and sleep, stay in touch with your family and all that. Family fun. And one of the things that is most sleep is very different from fun, right? I mean, rest. Sleeping for 8 hours, but you're not feeling energetic the day after the morning because you are sleeping, but you're not resting, right? There is something called yoga nidra. Okay, sleep, deep rest. It goes in English that way. The best rest that you can actually do. Then there are many forms of it. Choose a form that works for you. If you know Tamil, actually, some of the Kanda Guru Kavasam, Kanda Srishti Kavasam, and all that actually helps you do this Yoga Nidra. If you go read about Yoga Nidra, you'll recognize this. In English, they call this as non-sleep deep rest. This is not meditation, by the way. Sleep deep rest. Again, let's give some contrast. I'm making a suggestion. Pick your form. What is known to work wonders and magic is this thing. Okay, pick pick it in a format that works for you. Yes. Again, if this is regular, that is very good for you. You need to rest. You need to rejuvenate to put up a good fight, right? You need a strong body to your mind to work very well. You need a strong mind for your spirits to be up. Spirit or spirits, I don't know, singular, plural, that to be up. So these are some of the easy things. Again, don't overlook this. Be careful about it. So that brings us, sir, what priority should we have? All this I know. What priority attempt questions? How to avoid negative marks? Two things. Confidence, preparation allocation time, preparation material. Preparation material at this stage, you are only, mock test, diagnostics, and PYQs. These notes are going to get converted into flashcards. Okay. I have given an example of that. This is recorded in that video, how to study less, performance hacks, engineering students, which they had learned. It's worth looking at it, even though if it's a 1.5 hour or 2 hour long video. Go take a look at it. Make a list, checklist, pre-exam checklist is a must. Have a checklist. In fact, prepare a checklist, share it to the class. Okay, they can fine tune it further. Confidence allocation time, preparation, recall, active recall, preparation checklist, silly mistakes, work unit calculation, exam time management, rough sheet max time. Okay, doubling time scores. Yeah, so now I am going to discuss those exam specific things. Okay, in fact, I will also do some hands on exercise here. So what I have to discuss further, again, let me write this